Hi, sorry to intrude. We're Mark and Brian.
We told you we'd see you in a couple of weeks-ish. Well, it's kind of ish, and we have a clip of our show. We thought maybe we'd show you just a little bit of it.
We got lunch!
The Adventures of Mark and Brian.
You're pushing.
It's on Sunday.
Oh, man, you're pushing.
It's on NBC.
You feel pushed?
I'm very sorry.
We're sorry.
We are
okay,
sorry.
we're going to go now.
So I'll see you.
Chevrolet and Chevrolet dealers have always stood for simple, honest value. That's why more people depend on Chevrolet than on any other car, and why you can depend on values like these. Now for just $219 a month and no down payment, you can lease a new Chevy Lumina with air conditioning and V6 engine at your local Chevy Geo dealer. For honest value, depend on Chevrolet and your Chevrolet dealer, the heartbeat of America.
What would you do if someone took away your yellow pages?
My yellow pages?
The Bella Pennsylvania yellow pages?
You and what army? No.
People want to hold on to the book with more choices.
Hey, no. My yellow pages don't even think about it.
It's the book 9 out of 10 use, and when asked to choose, most people won't let go. The genuine Bella Pennsylvania yellow pages. No other book can match it. The Bella Atlantic Company.
This is Channel 3, KYW-TV, Philadelphia.
Welcome back to New York. Last year, Bruce Smith was the AFC Defensive Player of the Year, and that despite the fact that he had minor surgery on his right knee before the season. Well, this past Monday, Smith had similar surgery on his left knee and did not make the trip to London with his Buffalo teammates. Bruce now joins us live from Norfolk, Virginia. And Bruce, obviously not great sitting on the sidelines watching your teammates play. When can we expect you back? What's the prognosis?
Well, we're very optimistic of when I'll be returning back to the football field. And if everything goes well in the rehab, Dr. Andrews of Birmingham, Alabama, predicts that it could very possibly be the first game.
All right, well, 2 knee surgeries in 2 years. Obviously, that has to affect your speed and your quickness, which are 2 of your major assets. Are you concerned about that at all?
No, I'm not concerned because it was a relatively minor surgery as compared to the right knee. Medically speaking, they removed some loose bodies that was causing me some discomfort in my left knee and causing it to swell up at the same time. So rather than playing through that pain, we decided to go ahead and perform the surgery and do what was right and rehab it to the fullest, and I'm sure it won't affect my play whatsoever.
Obviously, opposing offensive linemen are going to view your knees now as a real area of weakness in their minds. Do you see them actually shooting at you and shooting at those knees?
Well, they've been shooting at my knees for the last 3 or 4 years, so that's not going to pose any major concern for me. My major assets are my speed and quickness off of the ball, and that's not going to change. I would like to take this time out to thank God and at the same time wish my father well. I'm sitting here at DePaul Hospital visiting with him while I'm watching a football game, so I hope he gets well real soon.
How's he doing, Bruce?
Well, he's having a rough time. He's going through a lot of pain, and it's really taken a lot out of me. At the same time, my being on crutches and watching him at the same time in the hospital bed, so it's really having an adverse effect on my mind right now.
Okay, looking back, of course, to last year and to the season where the team went to the Super Bowl, obviously just sacking people does not a defensive player of the year make. But in your case, everyone was kind of focused on you and the possibility of your breaking Mark Gastineau's season-long sack record. There was a point towards the end of the season where your sack production just basically stopped. When you look back at that now, why do you think that happened?
Well, for one reason, my left knee started swelling up on me the last 3 or 4 games. I can remember one game we played the New York Giants, and my knee was so swollen I could barely walk on it, but somehow I was able to get out there and play to my best ability on that particular Sunday. Dr. Andrews viewed and assessed my knee right after the game was over, and he said, "I don't know how you did it, but you can really go out there and perform under a lot of pain and a lot of pressure, so we're going to have to take a serious look at it after the season's over."
All right. You have had, I assume, some chance in the off-season and heading into this year now to kind of look ahead and see who the real competition for the Bills might be in the AFC. What is your take on that right now?
Well, I think that, as always, Miami Dolphins, the Los Angeles Raiders, and at the same time, there's some other teams that are doing some rebuilding right now. But those are the two teams that poses the most threat to us right now, and I think that with the attitude that we've acquired by focusing on each and every particular ball game and not looking past anybody, I think that's helped us out a tremendous amount over the past year.
All right, Bruce, of course, the Dolphins in Week 1. We wish you the best. Hope to see you back soon, and give your father our best for us as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Bruce. When we return, Will McDonough joins us to discuss Terry Long of the Steelers and the steroid question in the NFL. That's right after this message from Prudential.
I couldn't raise the money to save the orphanage. Guess I'm a failure. Larry Milligan from Wall Street. I've invested in their future.
All you needed was some faith.
And friends.
In the movies, happy endings are easy, but in the real world, they take solid planning. So for peace of mind, investment advice are the home of your dreams. Come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
Distressing news out of Pittsburgh this week. Steelers veteran guard Terry Long remains in the psychiatric ward of Allegheny General Hospital after reportedly trying to commit suicide on Wednesday. Long was said to be distraught after learning that he had flunked the league's drug test for steroids. Long has been with the Steelers since 1984. At 5'11", he is the shortest offensive lineman in the NFL. His girlfriend reported that Long tried to take his life by carbon monoxide poisoning in his garage, and when that failed, by consuming rat poison. He remains in the hospital today.
I want Terry to know that on behalf of me and the whole entire team, you know, we care about Terry. You know, we're supportive of him. We love him, and we want him to get better, and we want him to know that he can come for us for help, and we're going to stand by him, and we're going to help him through this.
Obviously, the sentiments of a lot of people. And joining us now, Will McDonough from NFL Live. And Will, you've certainly spent the better part of the last couple of days looking into the Terry Long situation. What have you found out?
Well, I talked to the Pittsburgh people, Gail, and they feel it's the story of a guy who was afraid of losing his job. You know, the Steelers put him out on Plan B last February, where every team in the league had a chance to pick him up, and no one did. And then he came to training camp where a young guy named Carlton Hasselrig was supposed to beat him out. And then it appears on July 11th in a steroid test, he failed the test. The team told him. Now, in the National Football League, they have to make that test positive twice. So in the interim, because it hasn't been validated a second time, he had this situation where he contemplated suicide and eventually had to put himself in the hospital in a psychiatric ward.
What is Steelers management saying to you?
Well, you know, they can't do anything on the record because the league hasn't officially said that this guy flunked the test. And they can't say anything about his medical record because that's not their business. That's his business. But, you know, between the Lyle Alzado story and now the Terry Long story, there's a great emphasis in the league on steroids. You want to know today, are more people using steroids right now, or did they use it more in the past? From my observation, 30 years of being a sports writer, being around the league throughout the 80s, far more players used it 5 and 10 years ago, use them than they do right now. I think in the mid-80s, you had about 10 guys a team using steroids, most of them the down linemen, most of them the offensive linemen, and at very few other positions. And of course, then the testing started for the first time in 1987, and you start to see some different kind of results.
How affecting has the testing been, the steroid testing been that the league put into application?
Well, I think they've done a great job with it because, like I say, if you took 28 teams times 10 players in 1985, you probably had 280, 300 guys in the league. In 1987, they tested everybody that came to camp that year in the NFL, over 2,000 players. The positive results were right around 100, between 90 and 100 in 1 year, and then the next year in 1988, the same thing. But at that time, there was no punishment in the league for failing the test. Why? Because the league felt the tests themselves weren't that valid. It was only after the Olympics of 1988, when they started to really perfect steroid testing, that the league said, okay, let's tell the players now, from now on, if we test them, we're going to punish them. The results are, In 1989, only 13 players in the league got suspended for steroid use, and last year, it dropped to 3. So I'm going from talking to you about 280 to 300 guys in the league using steroids back in the mid-'80s down to probably a handful right now. So I don't think Terry Long or the Lyle Alzado story are symptomatic of what's happening in the National Football League right now.
Okay, obviously a subject on a lot of people's minds, and we'll be dealing with it throughout the NFL season. Thank you, Will, for joining us as always. And we'll be returning to Wembley Stadium for second half action between the Bills and the Eagles right after these messages from your local station.
Twin Peaks, canceled. China Beach, canceled. 30-something. Canceled.
Some networks are canceling their quality dramas, but NBC is where you'll still find America's most honored and best-loved programs. For compelling drama, there is only one network. This fall, the quality shows on NBC.
Let's compare the standard features of the Cadillac Sedan DeVille and the Lincoln Town Car. The Cadillac has a 4.9-liter V8 engine, electronically controlled transmission, front-wheel drive, power assist rack and pinion steering, anti-lock brakes. In fact, once you consider Cadillac's standards, there's just no comparison.
The Making of a Las Vegas Show, only on Entertainment Tonight.
A festive atmosphere at Wembley Stadium in London, England, where the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles are tied at 10 in what is called the American Bowl. And I'm Marv Albert with Paul McGuire and Todd Christensen. Todd's done an excellent job, hasn't he?
Todd sounds great to me, and I can't believe all the people he's found so far. The problem is we haven't found Todd.
We saw him at the start of the game, and we had the search party out trying to find the guy.
Well, he's in the stands somewhere. We're going to get to him eventually, honestly.
Well, here it is, the 28th of July. First preseason out of 5 for both the Eagles and the Bills, and not a bad game.
It really isn't. You know, one penalty accepted. There was another penalty, a holding penalty was refused. And then no turnovers. It was almost a turnover by the Bills. But, for the first time, and they've only been in the camp, about 4 or 5 days before they came here, and they've no curfews, really been having a good time, seeing the sights in London. Everybody, the guys that wanted to could bring their wives or girlfriends, had a great time over here. So, I'm very impressed. It shows that these two teams are well coached.
All right, and we are tied at 10 at halftime as we take a look at the 2 touchdowns that were scored. First, it was Randall Cunningham capping off a good Eagle drive that was spearheaded by the running of Robert Drummond, and Cunningham able to hit Byers for the score.
Byers just to get to the end zone. Now here comes Kenneth Davis and his run back to the outside. Really nobody there. Good blocking up front.
So Davis capping off a 9-play, 46-yard drive to tie it at 7. Norwood hit from 30 yards away to give Buffalo a 10-7 lead, and then Ruzek from 37 to tie the game. Eagles have gone 94 yards on the ground. Drummond, 5 carries, 44 yards. And the rookie James Joseph with 8 carries for 33. Rundown of the halftime statistics. You see the Eagles have done the job on the ground, and they've had the ball for better than 17 minutes in that first half.
And the Bills will be happy with their balanced attack. 57 yards, 52 yards. They like that.
Kickoff by Ruzek, handled by Fuller. He's to the 20. Found the hole as he came across the 30-yard line. John Booty, a one-time Jet, able to make the stop. 27-yard kickoff return by Fuller. So we are underway in the third quarter. And the Bills will start out from their 30-yard line. Gail Gilbert checking in at quarterback. So Frank Wright at 4 for 11 and 64 yards. Here's Gilbert, originally signed by Seattle. Spent 2 years with the Seahawks, sat out with an injured knee, signed with Buffalo as a free agent, played 1 game last year, and threw a couple of touchdowns against Washington last December. Gilbert Able to complete to Al Edwards for the short pickup. William Thomas and Otis Smith on the stop, and you now will be hearing a host of unfamiliar names. Most of the backups are in there to start this third quarter.
Well, we're going to find out how good our spotters really are.
I'll put the pressure on them, Paul.
That's right. Gail Gilbert, 6'3", Marv, really sees the field well. Last year I did the Bills preseason games, and very, very impressive young man. He's got a tremendous attitude, but Frank Reich was the backup quarterback.
Second down and 4 at the 36. Gilbert got the protection, looking for Edwards. He had a turn and adjust, try to come back, covered by Izell Jenkins. Jenkins, a 4-year man out of North Carolina State.
Al Edwards, Izell Jenkins was right there. And you see Izell is backing up. He turns, he sees Gail Gilbert looking. And when he throws the ball downfield to Al Edwards, the ball is behind. Edwards actually had a chance of catching the ball. The coverage was there. Had he turned a little bit sooner, might have been able to get his hands on it, but the ball still was a little bit short.
Al Edwards, the Bills kick and punt return specialist, seeing action now at wide receiver. He split to the right. And Beebe at the top of your screen for this third down and 4. Flag is thrown. Diving catch made short of the first down by Carwell Gardner.
You're in an area where they're going to have some offensive holding. You bet. And remember now, the Buffalo Bills have their second and third string offensive line in there. That'll be refused.
71 offense declined. 4th down.
And once again, it's called on the rookie, Craig Hendrickson.
Number 71 on your screen. Just take a look. He's going to the outside. Now he's fighting back to the inside. And here is the takedown, which is good in wrestling, but not very good in pro football.
And Tim Kalal, rookie from Miami, back at his 15 to punt for the first time. Rod Harris is back. Kalal signed as a free agent. Harris playing that drifting punt. And off the spin, he's hit down at the 35-yard line. Hal Gardner on the stop, a 37-yard punt and a 3-yard return. Checking out the Bills draft picks. The number 1 selection, Henry Jones out of Illinois, unsigned, and Phil Hansen, number 2 out of North Dakota State, has seen some action here this afternoon.
And we go down to 9. That number, the 9th pick, linebacker Mark Maddox from Northern Michigan, very high on that young man. But Henry Jones better get into camp. Bill Polian made a statement in Buffalo. He said, "Hey, we've got to the Super Bowl without him last year. He better get in here. He won't find a place on this team."
Eagles first down at the 36. Jim McMahon has taken over at quarterback. McMahon on the run. Couldn't find anyone and has to run it out.
Reggie, you're going to call Reggie Rogers. Look at Reggie. Takedown, yeah. Well, you know, there are going to be a lot of excuses about what happens here. McMahon has been hit so many times, but Reggie Rogers chasing McMahon to the outside. And watch what happens here. When
personal foul,
Rogers gets there,
hitting out of
McMahon,
bounds, number 77, first down.
McMahon is like 4 yards out of bounds, and here it is. McMahon's out of bounds. The only thing I'm saying in the defense of Reggie Rogers is this. He is chasing a quarterback. Really does not know where the out of bounds is. But the problem is when McMahon does not try to get upfield anymore, you've got to back off, and he didn't.
On the personal foul, a first down at the 47. Jim McMahon spent 7 years with the Chicago Bears, one with San Diego. This is second season with Philadelphia. He was left unprotected in Plan B, but re-signed by the Eagles. McMahon dumps it. James Joseph with the diving attempt, but it's called incomplete, and he was covered by the rookie linebacker, Mark Maddox.
It's tough duty for a rookie linebacker to cover a back, but actually Joseph was only the dump man. McMahon had play action looking downfield, excellent coverage in the secondary. That's what you're looking for first. McMahon had no one to throw the ball to, and then dumped it to Joseph.
And Maddox out of Northern Michigan. As you mentioned, a 9th-round draft pick, has looked very impressive early in camp. He told us his hard hits in practice have led to players calling him the Terminator and Hercules, the Hulkster. We saw that hit the other day on Thurman Thomas.
Yeah, we got to talk about that when this play's over.
2nd and 10, and McMahon completes for the first down to Maurice Johnson, a first-year player from Temple, and it was Maddox combining with Tim Smiley to make the tackle.
Well, you talk about Maddox. I mean, like the second day of practice, Jim Richer, the guard of the Buffalo Bills, came out, and Maddox put him on his back. Now, Maddox has been hitting everybody, and that's how you make a football team. Now, yet young man the other day, 2 days ago, here comes Thurman Thomas, their running back, a little nicked in the knee. He comes out of the backfield on a 7-on-7, and Maddox dropped him on the ground. And the players said, wait a minute, slow down a little bit.
McMahon and the Eagles with a first down at the Buffalo 33. And the give, fumbled by Witherspoon. Buffalo claiming they have it. And they do.
Marcus Patton, number 53, gets the ball. It just looks like Witherspoon never gets the ball here. McMahon put the ball right in his stomach. He never closed his arms on it. Marcus Patton, number 53, comes in and picks up the ball.
So the Buffalo Bills will take over. We'll be back in a moment.
There are things in this life we can all count on. Qualities we have come to know and trust. Pride, good friends, and simple, honest values. These are the things we know we can depend on. Chevrolet. The cars more Americans depend on.
The heartbeat of America.
I'm a big man. Why do so many men stick with Bic? I'm a big man. Because there's a Bic for every beard. Bic Regular, a great shave at a great price. I'm a big man. Bic Sensitive, Bic Baby's tender skin. Bic Metal, slim head, total control. Yeah, I'm a big man. I'm a big man. Regular, sensitive, metal. I'm a big man.
The finest materials, crafted by the most skilled hands. That's the heritage of quality that goes into every glass of Schaefer and Schaefer Light. Since 1842, Schaefer has used only the finest ingredients to produce that famous flavor that never fades. That honest Schaefer flavor. The one reason that makes Schaefer the one beer to have.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Today's Chevrolet, who invites you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. By Schaefer Beer, quality beer since 1842. By the Upper Deck Company. Nobody does football cards like Upper Deck. And by Virgin Atlantic Airways. Non-stop 747s to London. Take us for all we've got.
Well, it is coming up on 8 p.m. in London. As you take a look at Wembley Stadium, 62,000 capacity. They expect the crowd between 45 and 50 today. It's in that area for this preseason game between the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles. And Buffalo, following the first turnover of the game, back to the offense. Carwell Gardner stopped by Izell Jenkins.
I think one of the things Carwell Gardner is going to have to learn, and again, he is rusty, sat out most of last year, but the thing that he has to do is not so much cutting back that far because he doesn't have the speed. Once he sees the hole, he's got to come forward, Marv, and pick up as much yardage as he possibly can.
It is a 2nd down and 6, and Gilbert in trouble, able to get away, and now down he goes. Andy Harmon making the stop. One of the significant playing rule changes for 1991, perhaps the most significant change, Paul, involves the new interpretation of the in the grass call, and here's an example of it.
Here is a classic example of in the grass. Now, that's Flory's number 95 that has a piece of Gail Gilbert. But he was in no danger. He only had one hand on him. It's up to the official to say, hey, wait a minute, there's not a second guy going to hit him. Gail Gardner got out. Or Gail Gardner.
Well, Gail is nifty.
Gail Gardner's nifty, but not that good.
It's a 3rd down and 12. Otis Smith on the coverage of Steve Tasker. Now the official blows the play dead only if the quarterback is tied up and, as you say, in danger with another player having a clear shot at him. Now, I would think this could help a running quarterback such as a Randall Cunningham.
But what did he say to us? Randall Cunningham says, I don't know. I have a tendency, once I'm getting hit in that backfield, I relax and I fumble the ball. And he said, I don't know if that's going to be that good for me. And everybody thought this would really help a guy like Randall.
Here's Chris Moore back to punt on a 4th down and 12. Rod Harris back at his 30. And it's a very short punt. Taking an incredible reverse bounce. Only a 15-yard punt. Let's go downstairs to Todd Christensen.
Well, thank you very much. I'm here with erstwhile quarterback Jack Kemp. I noticed that earlier on during the warm-ups on the Buffalo side that you're actually throwing a few. Are you thinking of a comeback?
Hey, Todd, for the money that they're paying Jim Kelly, I'd come back in a second. And so would you.
You got a point there. I was thinking to myself, what do you think of the excitement over here in Europe? Do you think that the professional football, American football, is going to catch on over here?
Oh, I really do. This is what the 6th time they've had the American Bowl in London. We were last year. My wife and I were in Berlin for the first game ever in Berlin. I think European fans love it. They have in London. And not since Paul McGuire punted for the Buffalo Bills has there been so much excitement in a Buffalo game.
That's pretty much been the highlight of his career, as being a teammate of Paul McGuire's, gentlemen.
Now, there are some other highlights, I can tell you.
Wait a moment. We'd like to hear some of those.
We will, but we'll have to do it later. It was a nice pass he threw. Of course, his arm fell off. You see him rubbing his arm afterwards. You know what I liked about this first play for scrimmage by Philadelphia? Now, they gave the ball to Weatherspoon. The first turnover in the game, he fumbled the ball the last time they had it. They came right back and gave the ball, McMahon did, to Weatherspoon. Get his confidence back up again. Lost the yard, but it gave it to him.
2nd down and 11 at the 46. And McMahon goes up top. Barnett, and a penalty marker is down. J.D. Williams on the coverage of Fred Barnett.
J.D. Williams had excellent coverage on Fred Barnett until he reached his hands out. McMahon saw Barnett cutting back to the corner and just lofted the ball in the air. What a tremendous pass by Jim McMahon. Here it comes.
Defense for pass interference. Number 31, first down.
J.D., I don't know what you're arguing about. Now watch this. Barnett comes down. He's going to break to the corner. McMahon knows where he's at. Everything is fine right here. But what? See him grab his arm? Once he grabs his arm, it's all over. The flag was thrown then. The coverage was there. He was getting help by Dwight Drain, number 45, to the inside. But watch what McMahon does. He sees Barnett on the outside all by himself and just floats it. Gets it up in the air, and there's the interference there.
31-yard pickup. Barnett with great speed and a terrific leaper. And it's the first down at the 16. McMahon throwing. Intended for Maurice Johnson, who was covered by Tim Smiley.
I'm sorry. I was watching Weatherspoon. I mean, he's frustrated because he fumbled. He lost the yard. But he drilled somebody coming up in the middle. He stepped up, and what an excellent block he made. He's like, if I can't run with the ball, and if I fumble the ball, at least I can block somebody.
Coaches love his enthusiasm. Chuck Weatherspoon, the Southwest Conference's all-time leader in all-purpose yards. Last year, passed by Eric Metcalf, but has had a rough day to this point.
He'll be all right. He's fine. He's got to learn some things, and he even told us. He isn't picking it all up yet.
2nd and 10, and McMahon hit down back at the 21. The combination of Phil Hansen, the rookie from North Dakota State, and Marcus Patton in his 2nd year out of UCLA, getting to the quarterback, Jim McMahon.
The thing I like about Weatherspoon is it doesn't make any difference who's coming. That time he picked up Reggie Rogers, or at least got a piece of him.
3rd and 15 back at the 20. 5.5 gone by in the 3rd quarter. Buffalo and Philadelphia are tied at 10. Barnett to the right. Joseph and Weatherspoon are the running backs. Intended for Barnett. And again, looking for the call. Does not get it this time. Covered by J.D. Williams.
Yeah, Barnett, you got one that you deserved. This one, J.D. Williams was right there. And McMahon threw the ball where it had to be thrown to be caught. Barnett did not go. Here it is. Look on the top of your screen. Number 31 is J.D. Williams. Here's Barnett. Now look, that is not pass interference. The ball hits you in the hands. You're supposed to catch it. And you didn't.
It is a 37-yard field goal attempt coming up for Roger Ruzek, who earlier hit from 37. And he drills it right through. The Eagles lead it by 3. 9:05 remaining in the third.
This summer, Van Damme is back to back. There's 2 of them. Twin brothers. Let's do it. Too tough for any man. Too hot for any woman.
That's what I love about you.
See Van Damme like you've never seen him before. Trust me. See Double Van Damme. Double Impact. Rated R. Feel the impact Friday, August 9th at a theater near you.
Of all the trucks in its class, only Chevy 4-door S10 Blazer gives you 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, standard, which helps you steer through a curve while braking. Without it, you don't have as much control. And why should that be important to you? Because in the real world, safety doesn't have to be an option. Chevy S10 Blazer.
The heartbeat of America. Today's truck is Chevrolet.
I'll put you next to Ted.
Now, when life turns up the heat, there's Degree antiperspirant. Because it's body heat activated, Degree turns on extra protection when you really need it. Degree, your body heat turns it on.
Kentucky Fried Chicken asked this man to taste our new honey barbecue wings. Tender, juicy wings in a savory barbecue sauce with a touch of honey. New honey barbecue wings from KFC. The experts are already buzzing about it.
This is an Erie update. UFOs invade bodies of basketball teams, plus the curse of mutant twins. Stay tuned from Erie, Indiana.
.9:05 remaining in the third quarter, and the Eagles lead the Bills by the score of 13-10 by virtue of the 37-yard field goal by Roger Ruzek, who will now kick off to the combination of Vernon Turner and Eddie Fuller. Here's Fuller. And he's tripped up across the 20-yard line. Rich Miano on the tackle.
Rich Kotite told us his goals, there are 3 of them. The one in the middle is the improved special teams. He was very upset, even though they took the lead. J.D. Williams, look to the left of your screen, number 31, almost blocks it. Jesse Small, number 52, had to block 2 people, but J.D. was there, and when we went to commercial, Rich Kotite just did not have a smile on his face, even though he's up 13-10. He knows that there was a breakdown, and J.D. Williams almost blocked the field goal.
Rich Kotite in his first year as an NFL head coach. There's J.D. Williams. First down at the 22. And Gilbert dumps it off. Gardner running well. Has the first down and some more. Stopped by John Booty. Scott Kolkowski, rookie from Notre Dame, combining with Booty as Gardner ripped off 15.
It was a nice, the screen was set up beautifully. I think it's the first screen we've seen today. But Mitch Farrat, number 59, the center, he will be out to get the block. Watch 59. He gets out into the pattern. Carwell Gardner's there. There's his block on the inside on the linebacker, Thomas. 15-yard pickup. Nice play.
And a first down at the 36. Gardner met by Booty. All right, let's go to Todd Christensen.
Well, thanks a lot, Marv. I'm here with Larry Kennan, the head coach of the World League of American Football champion London Monarchs, and I wanted to talk to you sooner, but you said you were too busy at halftime signing autographs.
Not really. I was just teasing you. It really is fun to be back here. It's a great stadium to play in, and the fans over here are really dear to all of us, and we had a great time over here.
What was it like when you won the championship? It was fabulous to see the players go in through the rows and the songs and everything else. Was that anything like you've ever had in professional football before?
No, it's the most unique, thrilling experience I've ever had in athletics. It's just amazing what happened here after the game.
Compare it, if you could, a little bit. You and I were fortunate enough to be on a world championship team with the Raiders. How does it compare with that?
Well, I think this is a little more special to me, but it's all relative. You know, it makes no difference. We won the biggest game we could win that year, and that was special to all of us. And going up through the stands and the post-game celebration was unbelievable.
After the success you've had, are you looking for the opportunity to get into the NFL as a head coach?
Well, whatever happens, happens in that regard. I took this job because I thought it would be a great experience, and it has been, and I've loved London and the success our team has had, and I could coach here for a long time.
Congratulations on your success in London. Gentlemen.
All right, Todd, London Monarchs head coach Larry Kennan, who handled the coin toss prior to the game, nearly picked off Booty and Smith on the coverage of Beebe.
Beebe outran the ball. Gail Gilbert threw the ball down the sideline, and Booty, number 42, is really the man that has a chance at the ball. The ball is thrown behind. Smith is there also, but that ball was short. Otis Smith, number 30, had Beebe covered all the way down the field.
It is a 2nd down and 10 at the 47. Frank Reich went the first half. Jim Kelly setting it out, sidelined by a pulled hamstring, and Gail Gilbert 3 for 6 for only 13 yards. Figures to go most of the way. Tom Bill, rookie from Penn State, may see action later on. Big hole again for Carwell Gardner, and he is running well. Booty tripped him up.
This is the one thing the Buffalo Bills wanted to see with Carwell Gardner, and he told us he'd like to play with the first unit. They said he probably would. Well, he's not. But just take a look at the blocking is there. Mitch Farrat, number 59, the center, actually gets a pretty good block on Thomas. And there's Carwell Gardner to the outside and picks up another first down. He's big, strong. During the interview with Todd Christensen, he also made a nice run to the outside and picked up another first down. Good football player. And look at Thurman Thomas saying, he's running all right. Thurman said, that's okay.
Thurman.
James Lofton, tell him everything's all right.
Seeing limited action in the first quarter. Gardner has carried 8 times, 55 yards. First down at the 36 in Eagle territory, and Beebe would have had 6. At the last instant, Izell Jenkins broke it up.
That is a tremendous defensive play. And you talk about taking a chance. Izell Jenkins knew he was closing on the ball. That ball was on target. Jenkins knocked it down. That's super football.
Izell Jenkins, a starter in 4 of the first 6 games last year, primarily played the nickelback position in his 4th year out of North Carolina State. 2nd and 10. Buffalo at the Philadelphia 36. Just under 6 minutes to go. And the 3rd. Again a pull-up. This time Beebe on the reception. In front of Jenkins. Jenkins and Booty make the stop. And it's good for 21 yards and a first down.
All right, now this time with Izell Jenkins, I think he was counting on some inside help from Booty. Watch Jenkins. He lets Beebe get to the inside. 42 is Booty, does not get there. Izell Jenkins makes the tackle, but Beebe already made the catch.
John Beebe making it back from a broken leg that was suffered last December against the Miami Dolphins. And he picked up the first down at the 16. Bills trail the Eagles 13-10, but they have a good drive going. It is back to the ground for Fuller. And he was bottled up by Harmon. Andy Harmon, 6th round draft pick out of Kent State. Making the stop. Andy Harmon seeing quite a bit of activity today.
Bills are legitimately trying to win preseason games.
This is after all Marv Levy was telling us the other day, and as we showed you earlier, the Buffalo Bills have not been successful in recent years in preseason play. Obviously, it has not mattered. This is a club that has won the last 3 AFC East crowns. Good adjustment by Beebe as the pass was thrown behind him. Otis Smith on the coverage.
Well, Otis Smith is looking for offensive pass interference. And Gail Gilbert, watch where he throws this ball back to the outside. You see Smith 30. Now, does Beebe push off? Yes, he does. You could have called offensive pass interference there. Smith was right on him.
Long drive for the Bills. 10th play coming up. It is a 3rd down and 9 outside the 15. 4:24 remaining in the 3rd. It's the American Bowl 91, the 6th annual part of the NFL's International Week. And Gilbert throws for the end zone. Touchdown, Al Edwards, wide open as he beat Otis Smith.
Well, I don't know who he beat, whether it was Smith, Booty, or Eric Allen. They were all 3 in the area, and I think they were concentrating so much on Beebe. Here's Edwards. Now, that's Smith. But I think, well, you know, when you look at the defense, you just don't know because you see Booty 42 coming in the picture. Was Smith supposed to release him? You don't know that because we don't know which defense was called. We knew that there was one-on-one coverage on the outside on Beebe, but on Edwards, I don't know.
And Bjorn Nitmo will attempt the extra point. 15-yard touchdown pass play. And Nitmo adds to that Buffalo lead. Bills have the ball for 4 minutes and 46 seconds.
Running into the kicker. The point is good.
10 plays and 78 yards for the score as Gilbert is able to connect with Edwards. The Bills 17 and the Eagles 13.
Finest materials, crafted by the most skilled hands. That's the heritage of quality that goes into every glass of Schaefer and Schaefer Light. Since 1842, Schaefer has used only the finest ingredients to produce that famous flavor that never fades, that honest Schaefer flavor, the one reason that makes Schaefer the one beer to have.
With the only sleeper seats and 15 more inches of legroom than any other business class to London, Virgin Atlantic's upper class is truly the airline for giants of the business world. Virgin Atlantic Airways, take us for all we've got.
Not long ago, one of the first Lumina sedans was bought by a family of 5. They said they liked the gas mileage, all the room it had, and they liked the price. Since then, the Lumina sedan has quickly become the best-selling new car name in America. Apparently, a lot of people are winning with
The heartbeat of America, that's today's Chevrolet.
Now it's easy to win with a heartbeat.
Get out of the heat. Turn on that AC and chill out with the NFL on NBC. Next Saturday, live from Berlin, the San Francisco 49ers battle the Chicago Bears. Then, following the game, it's a clash of NFL quarterbacks. Who is the league's top guy? NFL football and the quarterback challenge next Saturday.
And there's Al Edwards, second season out of Northwest Louisiana State, who just caught that 15-yard touchdown pass from Gail Gilbert to provide a 17-13 lead for the Bills over the Eagles. And Scott Norwood will kick it off to the combination of Broderick Graves, a first-year player out of Winston-Salem, and Rod Harris. Kickoff return game, not a strong area for the Eagles, who are searching for a kick return game. Rod Harris is the incumbent as the punt return man. He's been there most of the day. And it's taken by Harris. He will stay right there. They'll move it out to the 20-yard line. As part of the NFL's International Week, the Eagles and Bills participated in a very proper British tea time the other day. Keith Jackson representing the Eagles.
Touch it.
Jim Kelly representing the Bills.
Yeah. Makes a nice pinky ring. Hold on, let me drink tea with it at the same time. So what do you think?
Yeah, second place ring looks good on you.
Who's got that new hairdo?
It is a first down at the 20. And the handoff to Joseph. Short pickup. David Bavaro and Odell Haggins making the stop.
About this Buffalo defense and their offense. Remember now, this is the team that went to the Super Bowl. They're only looking for a few people in places. They have their team pretty much intact, Mark. So that, they don't fall off that much when they get to the second unit.
Second down and 9 with 3.5 remaining in the third. Jim McMahon dumping it off, intended for James Joseph, and a flag has been tossed.
One thing that the coaches just really don't want to see now, it starts to get sloppy. It's offensive holding now against Philadelphia. Rich Kotite. Barb Levy said no. Wave it off. Refuse the penalty. Make it third down and 10.
Holding. 71. Offense. Decline. Third down.
That is the left tackle, Cecil Gray. Called for the hold.
Sometimes we don't see it, but sometimes a holding penalty is important because if the guy's by you and you know that you're the only guy between that defensive end and the quarterback, they'll tell you, don't get the quarterback killed, hold him. There's holding again.
And there's the penalty marker once again.
Cecil Gray, it's again. He just held again, number 71, Cecil Gray. And this was a total takedown. Now, I mean, don't even complain about this one.
Cecil Gray playing the left tackle position that is projected to be.
Holding. 71. Offense. Decline. Fourth down.
That is projected to be the spot that the #1 draft pick, Anton Davis, will take over. He is still unsigned. In order to draft Davis, the Eagles moved up 11 slots, trading places with Green Bay and giving the Packers their 1992 first-round draft pick. You get the idea, though, as you see Spiegels back to punt. The Eagles waiting to see how much money Davis's Tennessee teammate Charles McRae will get from Tampa Bay. Turn on the return, and he is taken down. Gang tackle. The charge led by Izell Jenkins. 43-yard punt and a 5-yard return.
For the past 2 years, more hardworking truck owners switched to Chevy than to any other truck. And now Chevy full-size pickup is America's best-selling truck. #1, for one simple reason. They work.
The heartbeat of America.
Today's #1 truck is Chevrolet.
Today, a guy losing his hair can choose between being the man he wants to be.
We look great with hair. Do something to save it.
And the man he could become.
Can't you accept nature like everyone else?
Doctors have hair loss treatment programs that are proven to work. And the sooner you see a doctor, the better.
We don't want nature. We want hair.
When you've considered the arguments.
We might look great bald.
And you decide you want hair. There's only one thing to do. See your doctor. Or call this number for more information.
We all like to keep our car looking new. So use Armor All Protectant. It makes your car look like new and helps it last longer. And that makes you look pretty smart. Armor All. It keeps you looking good.
Get ready. Upper Deck football cards are coming.
deck football cards.
In the beginning, we brought you a different world, and you said it was funny. Next came the Fresh Prince, and you thought life couldn't get better. Now we bring you the ultimate thrill. Announcing the Fresh Prince and a different world together on Monday nights. A full hour of outrageous fun. That should be decent. Fresh Prince and a different world, NBC Monday.
Soccer-like atmosphere here at Wembley in London. McGuire and Todd Christensen with 3:13 remaining in the third quarter. Bills 17, the Eagles 13 in this opening preseason game for both clubs. And Buffalo with a first down from the 39. Butch roll. And a penalty marker is thrown. The tight end roll on the reception.
There's going to be an offensive pick by Fuller, number 33. He went in and knocked off the linebacker. And they got to call it. Can't do that.
Offensive pass interference, number 33.
And that is Eddie Fuller. How uncharacteristic that was to see Butch roll on a reception that did not go for a touchdown. Yes, has that incredible string going back to 1987. His last 8 catches have all been for TDs.
You know, he had 3 last year. You know, you'd think you'd throw the guy more. But Fuller came in, and he knows that the play is a pick. Roll's coming out. Fuller comes inside, but you can't screen off while the ball is not in the air, or while the ball is in the air.
It's a 1st and 20. The Garrett brothers, both Judd and John, are in the lineup. Here's the screen. It's Judd Garrett. Judd Garrett led the World League of American Football in receptions with 71 as a running back with London. And on the announcement that he made that catch, he hears the roar from the crowd.
Well, they love him here. And this is just, the screen is set up to the outside. Number 59 is Mitch Farrat. You see him get in for the block. Garrett does not have a great amount of speed, but he has tremendous hands. When I see Garrett, I see Judd, because there are 2 of them.
Judd, originally a 12th round pick of the Philadelphia Eagles last year, and then waived in preseason, signed with Dallas, and they dropped him. Here's Garrett. That's Judd. Stopped by Mike Renner.
When you see the holes are opening up like this, again, you have the backup people on both teams. But the backup people on the offensive line for the Buffalo Bills, they are doing an excellent job. 74 is Glenn Parker. Mitch Farrat plays an awful lot, and he also fills in at guard and at center. Now, Parker started at the left tackle, or the right tackle, and now he's playing guard, so they really don't lose that much.
3rd down 4 at the 45. Gilbert off the roll. And it is ruled a completed pass. John Garrett has the first down. John Garrett played his college ball at Princeton. Judd also played for Princeton. Their dad, Jim, is a scout for the Dallas Cowboys, a one-time NFL assistant coach.
There's one that might have been, but, you know, John Garrett did get his hands underneath the ball, and the official was there. That's a catch.
And Judd Garrett, the ball carrier, stopped by Mike Renner. As we mentioned earlier, no instant replay review today, or for next Saturday's Bears 49ers game in Berlin. No instant replay at neutral site preseason affairs because, as they say, a lack of experience and facilities out of the country. It is a 2nd down and 4 from the 42. Down to 25 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Here's Judd Garrett reaching out toward the marker, stopped by Jesse Campbell. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
This is an Erie update. Housewives' bizarre rubberware rituals exposed. Children's fate sealed. Stay tuned for further updates from Erie, Indiana.
Those dependable Hondas. They start at home. They start at work. And best of all, they start at a lot less than you might think. Buy a 1991 Honda today. At these prices, what's stopping you?
In this book, I found a pet, but no name. He's got no name yet. In this book, I found a home. So no name has a place to roam. In this book, I found a vet. So no name's nose stays cold and wet. In this book, I found a ride to keep my no name by my side. But of all the things I've found, my pet, I haven't found no name's new name yet. The genuine Bella Pennsylvania Yellow Pages, nor the book and magic. A Bell Atlantic company.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go.
It's factory authorized clearance time again.
Well, it's time to go.
When your Dodge dealer has to say goodbye to his 91 Dodges, big total savings, even no extra charge air on select Caravans. But hurry, before your Dodge dealer says goodnight to 91 savings forever.
Good night, sweetheart. Good night.
Rediscover American values.
Models posing nude. Does it help or hurt a career? Monday on Evening Magazine.
Well, 3 quarters complete. We're back at Wembley Stadium in London. And the Buffalo Bills with a 17-13 lead over the Philadelphia Eagles.
One of the surprising things about it, now everybody talked last year about the Buffalo Bills and their hurry-up offense. Obviously, they were not going to do that tonight. We knew that. But talking to Coach Ted Marchibona, the offensive coordinator, he said we would be safe to say that they will probably use anywhere between 40 and 50% of their offense that's already in.
And it's a first down of 37. Gilbert going deep. And Fuller could not hang on. Jesse Campbell may have gotten a piece of it.
Jesse Campbell, just at the last seconds, we saw in the third quarter Izell Jenkins do it. Watch Campbell right there. He does get a piece of it. It goes off the hands of Eddie Fuller, which would have been a great catch had he made it. But that young man, Campbell, just made a super play.
He is a rookie from North Carolina State, a second-round draft pick. And like Andre Waters, considered to be an enforcer with what can affectionately be labeled a nasty streak. Gilbert is now 7 for 14. 66 yards, 1 touchdown, dumps it off, and has Fuller submarine, but picks up the first down inside the 20, hit by Booty. That went for 18.
Booty and Smith. No one covers Fuller left of your screen. Watch him. He's going to come out of the from the up back position, split on the outside. There's just nobody covering him here. And all of a sudden, there comes Booty comes in, Smith comes in, and down goes Fuller. But there's a first down. That was Smith underneath.
Bills first down at the Eagles 20-yard line. Fuller. And he's hit for the loss. Hard hit by William Thomas, 4th-round pick out of Texas A&M.
Kolakowski, number 57, was also out there. Now, we talked about the Buffalo Bills offense only 40-50%. And Bud Carson, I talked to him the other day for just a moment, and Bud is really in a dilemma. The reason, you've got 3 of your starting offensive linemen are not here. You're playing with guys, you're trying to put in some defenses. He's going to have to go back over because there are some things that he wants to run. Basically, the 4-3, the Eagle, all these defenses are the same. I'll get back to it in a second.
All right, second down and 12. Steve Clark, rookie from Texas, with his first catch of the day.
But, Bud, you're missing 4 starters from the defense, 3 defensive linemen. There's only so much that you can put in with these guys at this point in time. You're in their first game of the season. He's just what he's looking at, too. And I know he's a little frustrated with it. The guys aren't here, which they will be. But he's doing the same thing the Buffalo Bills are doing in the first preseason game. They're looking at people reacting. Make it as simple as possible and see if you can cover people or beat people one-on-one on the line.
It is a 3rd down and 8. And Gilbert able to fire and connects. Isel Jenkins with the stop on John Garrett, another graduate of the WLAF. He played in San Antonio.
Watch where this pass is, though. Jenkins has no chance. He hits Garrett between the 4 and the 8, and you better catch the ball. Garrett, they have excellent hands, both of them, Judd and John. That was John. Judd's the back. He may get the ball now.
It is a 1st and goal at the 6. John Garrett, the eldest of the 3 Garrett brothers to play at Princeton. 12th play of the drive right here. And it is Judd Garrett. Nice call, Paul.
Well, he's the only guy in the backfield. It's kind of easy, though. You know, he's the only one there.
Mike Retta made the stop, preventing Judd Garrett from taking it in. They place it at the 2.
3 tight ends now. They're bringing in Metzelars and Roll.
3.5 minutes gone by in the 4th quarter. The Bills with a 17-13 lead. They have a 2nd and goal at the 2-yard line.
I would think he'd give it to Garrett again because playing with the London Monarchs, it's nice to have him score a touchdown. Yeah.
Yes, it is, Garrett. Bills calling for the score. The ball was jarred loose and no indication.
Mitch Farrat got it again. Make him a receiver.
Mike Constantanos, rookie from Temple, signed as a free agent, was able to stop Judd Garrett.
Here's Judd Garrett. He doesn't score, but does the ball cause the fumble? I mean, does the ground cause the fumble, or was he hit when the ball come out before he hit the ground? No, we got to make sure again.
It is a 3rd and goal inside the 1. 88 Metzelars peeling off Garrett, and again he stopped. Combination of Mike Flores and Scott Kolakowski stopping Judd Garrett.
Well, obviously Philadelphia knows that Judd Garrett played here, and he's going to get the football, and the Bills have a 4-point lead. Any other time they would kick a field goal, but I think they're going to go for it on 4th down. But I don't know if they'll give the ball to Judd this time or not.
4th and goal from the 1. And this time it's Fuller.
He didn't make it.
So the Philadelphia Eagles able to hold off the Buffalo Bills. Constantanos involved in that stop, along with Winfred Bryant. Bryant, a first-year player from Nicholls State.
Here it is now. Fuller, they faked it to Judd Garrett, and Fuller does not get over. You can see the ball never cleared the goal line. That's a good call.
And the Eagles will take over right there.
Wouldn't it be great if you invented magic recliners that took you anywhere? So you guys took a trip to the Keys for some boating, volleyball, and a little snorkeling. And wouldn't it be great if just by pushing a button you got beer? Really great premium beer like Keystone.
What's this button do?
Cold filtered Keystone and Keystone Light. Bottle beer tastes in a can. Wouldn't that be great?
Oops.
This is not what you want in a shave. Now you've got the edge. With 6 rich lubricants. For less irritation. You've got the edge.
The driver of this car adds something special to his motor oil. So does the driver of this car. They both use STP oil treatment. For drivers on a racetrack or drivers on a fast track. STP.
Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by First Brands Corporation, makers of STP oil treatment. By Cold Filtered Keystone and Keystone Light. Bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great? By Irish Spring Deodorant Soap. The Irish never quit. And by Midas. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Marv Albert with Paul McGuire and Todd Christensen back in London, England. The Philadelphia Eagles take over at their 1-yard line. Jim McMahon still in there at quarterback. Randall Cunningham started, went the first quarter, then Don McPherson came on, and now McMahon. And James Joseph was stopped by Matt Rulin. And there's one of your favorite players, Mitch Farrat, who along with Ray Bentley usually like to take the Alice Cooper look with the eye black in Alice Cooper style.
Good friends. Good friends. Had a chance to have tea with them. They're lovely guys. They really are.
It is a 2nd down and 8 from the 3. There's Ray Bentley. And it calls the defensive signals. 6 minutes gone by in the 4th quarter. And Maurice Johnson on the reception for a 1st down. Stopped by Carlton Bailey.
McMahon, you know, we talked to the coaching staff about McMahon. He is so smart, but watch what he does. He'll sit in that pocket. The pressure is coming, but he finds his big tight end Johnson right down the middle for the 1st down.
Maurice Johnson is getting a long look. First-year player out of Temple, signed with the Eagles as a free agent a year ago, then released and then re-signed. There he is, number 87. He is behind Keith Jackson and Mickey Schuler on the depth chart. 1st down at the 14 for the Eagles. It's Joseph, stopped by Munger.
Buffalo Bills have an awful lot of linebackers. Young men that they're really high on to play. Carlton Bailey, Maddox, and Bavaro we talked about, who are young guys. Marcus Patton, number 53. Hal Gardner, the experienced guy, started in the place of Darryl Talley tonight, and Matt Munger. I mean, they're talking about a team with an overabundance of excellent linebackers. The Bills have them.
Darryl Talley not here, looking to extend his contract by a couple of years.
Yeah, he's got some problems with that baby, I can tell you.
2nd down and 8. And McMahon connects with Joseph for the 1st down. David Poole on the stop.
Well, David Poole played a little bit too deep. On the left-hand side of your screen, watch where 29 is when the ball is caught. That's just a little bit too deep, about 8 yards too deep. There's no way you can make the play and stop the 1st down. You only have a 4-point lead. Again, the Bills would have kicked the field goal had it been during the regular season to go up 7. And I think the defense would have been a little bit tighter.
And McMahon has a 1st down at the 28. Looked like the intended receiver, Nick Cullen, slipped. Covered by both Brett Young and Brett Tucker. McMahon is now 3 for 9 for 36 yards.
He's got plenty of time, McMahon, and the Philadelphia Eagles. 6:47 remaining in the 4th quarter. And McMahon, when you looked at time, you could see that Joseph coming out of the backfield was open for about a 7 or 8 yard gain. And they just sent in Weatherspoon, maybe want to dump some short stuff off to the backs coming out of the backfield, let them run, because the defensive secondary and linebackers are dropping off a little bit more.
It is a 2nd and 10 from the 28. Weatherspoon and Joseph, the running backs. And McMahon looked short, couldn't find anybody. Had to run it out of bounds. Matt Rulin, number 70, had a shot, and he's run out by Brent Collins.
Weatherspoon almost destroys Brett Tucker, number 36. Watch on the bottom of the screen. Weatherspoon, 39. Here comes Tucker. Watch this. At this point, here's where he labels, bam, and he hits his knees, and I mean, he's down. and he's not moving very well. In fact, they're taking him off the field. He has no idea, Tucker, where he is. I mean, that is some kind of hit. He brought him right to his knees and almost knocked him unconscious.
That's the 5'7" 3/4 inch.
That 3/4 is what got him,
Chuck
I think.
Weatherspoon. And down goes McMahon. Big rush, led by Mark Maddox.
That time, Jim McMahon got down about a half a second early. Had he not, here comes 55. Watch this. Maddox goes right up over the top, but he gets credit for the sack, even though he doesn't tackle McMahon.
We asked Maddox the other day, has anyone told him to lighten up, to cut down on his hits during practice against his own teammates? He said the coaches told him, you don't have time to make friends right now, as you watch the punt by Spiegels. Here's Turner on the return. Flag has been thrown. Maddox was told, you'll make friends when you make the roster.
Yeah,
wait.
Just keep hitting people, and you'll be around, son. And if you don't, and you let these guys talk you out of a job, you won't be here.
45-yard punt by Fiegels.
Number 25, Buffalo on the return, pushing the back.
Number 25 is Tim Smiley, first-year player from Arkansas State. Timeout is called with 5:45 remaining in the fourth.
There's an interesting dynamic developing here. While Virgin has been removing seats to make more room in our economy class, other airlines have been adding seats. One's got to wonder, are they using our seats? Virgin Atlantic Airways, take us for all we've got.
Because if you don't watch your figure, who will?
It's the right beer now.
Because when it comes to water, the only place to start is at the top.
It's the right beer now.
Because when the party's going full steam, you don't want to fill up. So reach for the beer that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet.
It's the right beer now.
Get ready. Upper Deck football cards are coming. Are you ready for Upper Deck football cards?
Legend says dangling your feet in the lake at Dunlow keeps you feeling fresh and clean the rest of your days. There's a bit of this in every bar of Irish Spring. Ah, the lost and fresh scent of Irish Spring. The Irish never quit.
It's come from the California beaches to be a nationwide phenomenon. Now, for the first time live on broadcast television, join St. John Smith, Karch Karai, and the boys on the beach. Miller Lite Pro Beach Volleyball. Today on NBC.
You know, you could say Chuck Weatherspoon finally found out who to block, and that's Brett Tucker, number 36. Watch this block from 39. Bang. And his knees just buckled, and Mr. Tucker went to the sidelines with the trainer coming out, Bud Carpenter, to help him.
And able to walk it off. Apparently, Brett is okay. First out at the 24 for Gail Gilbert and the Bills. Judd Garrett stopped by Mike Constantatos.
His teammates, Weatherspoon's teammates, saw the hit on the big board, and look at Byers is right there to congratulate him. You know, it's easy for you to say that Tucker's all right. They asked him, they put up figures, and they said, how many?
I just received a note that said Brett Tucker is all right.
Yeah, he's all right. He's going to have a headache for a long time.
It is a second down and 9 at the 25. We're coming up on 5 minutes remaining in the fourth. A bullet that hit Steve Clark, but not in the hands.
Well, you know, you're looking at a position on the Buffalo Bills that's almost impossible to make, and that's tight end, because you got Keith McKellar, Pete Metzelaars, and Butch Roll, who's in there, and probably the best combination of 3 in the National Football League. And here's a young man, Steve Clark, but Gail Gilbert, I mean, drilled the ball, and he hit him right in the face with it.
Gilbert is now 10 for 17, 99 yards, and 1 touchdown. Gail Gilbert out of Red Bluff, California. 4-year man of the NFL from California, Berkeley. 3rd down and 9. Throws to the right side, and he has John Garrett lunging for the marker.
He's not going to get it. They're going to mark this where John Garrett's knee hit and not where the ball is. Now it's 4th down and about a half a yard, and the Bills are going to punt. They're going to measure it, but I don't think he made it. He's going to be about a half a yard short. He actually had to get to the 34-yard line, a little over the 34-yard line, and I don't think he's there. Just take a look where the ball is, but his knee is what counts first. The official is there, and they're going to mark it where his knee hits. Now, you see where the knee is there? That's where they put the ball back to. Wait a minute. So that marker on that side is not right because the ball isn't even at the 34-yard line, and the marker on the other side is beyond the 34. So he did get it anyway.
I buy it.
I got it. Hey, the guy said so, did he?
And it is a 1st down at the 34. Amir Rasul, a rookie from Florida A&M, a 7th-round draft pick wearing number 24, has come on for the first time. 4:25 remaining in the 4th. On the screen, it is Doug Garrett. Getting across the 40, Golkowski and Beavers combined to make the stop. Garrett with his 5th catch of the day for 45 yards.
Screens in preseason work so well, or at least they should work so well, because what happens as soon as the linebackers read pass, they're dropping off trying to get to an area which they're taught to do, and as soon as the offensive lineman read or defensive lineman read pass, they're heading right to the quarterback. So there's such a gap in the middle.
2nd and 1. Doug Garrett this time is stopped. Winfred Bryant, Mike Constantados on the tackle. The Bills with a 17-13 lead on the Philadelphia Eagles. Just under 3.5 remaining. And this 4th quarter for the Eagles, game number 2 of their preseason, will take place next Saturday against the Jets at Giants Stadium. While the Buffalo Bills preseason schedule will continue a week from tomorrow night against the Giants at Giants Stadium. Bills open the regular season at home against Miami on the 1st of September. 3rd down and 3. Over off the short drop. Incomplete. John Garrett, the intended receiver, covered by Maryland rookie Mike Hollis.
That was super coverage by Hollis. He was right there. Garrett had no chance. The ball was thrown pretty well by Gail Gilbert.
It is a 4th down play, and number 19, Tim Kalal, rookie from Miami, will come on to punt. Rod Harris is back. 2nd punt of the day for Kalal. Signed as a free agent. Instrumental in Miami, setting an NCAA record for lowest punt return yardage back in 1989. Here's Harris on the return to the 35. And then pushed back. 2:39 remaining in the 4th quarter. We'll be back after this timeout.
What's that clue going down? What's that chill rushing through you? What's that light that takes your breath away? That's the taste of real refreshment. That's the real love that is hope. That's the taste of real refreshment. Just for the taste of it, Giant Coke.
What is reality? You talking to me?
It's what you see.
Relativity. An object traveling. Hello, Lawrence. That's reality.
Repeat the question.
Why don't you tell me what reality is?
It's what I wear.
You got a problem with that? Traveling at the speed of light.
Hello, Lawrence. Reality.
Now you can wear the look of the NFL. That's reality.
Oh, reality. Simply stated, that's
Pro-Line.
Where was the pros wear?
Still can't hear.
Now
reality.
Herschel Walker, Ron Brown, Darrell Green. A showdown of football's fleetest. Who is the DHL NFL's fastest man? Find out today on NBC.
Well, a moment ago, you saw English tradition at its finest involving Jim Kelly and Keith Jackson. Well, as part of our extremely popular feature, Paul relates to the players. We thought it would be proper for Paul to have tea, so he shared this emotional moment with Ray Bentley and Mitch Perrott of the Bills. Tea time with Paul.
Love it. That's right. Everybody can do it over here.
Is it possible? Can one man wreck a hallowed tradition?
No. Those guys enjoy that.
Yes.
Mitch, I was surprised, used sugar and cream. Bentley took it straight, still tougher.
What an observant guy you are.
Yeah, well, I want to make sure everybody gets hurt. Kelly, they get all the accolades. Keith Jackson and Kelly.
Crowd of 50,474 here at Wembley Stadium in London. 2:39 left in the fourth quarter. First down at the 34-yard line. And the quarterback is now Brad Gable, the rookie from Baylor. Marcus Patton making the stop on Bill Hess. Bill Hess in his first year out of Westchester. Clock running, picked up 5.
Nice position to put the kid in, isn't it?
And completes for the first down to Maurice Johnson. Gets out to midfield. Carlton Bailey making the stop along with Marcus Patton. Broderick Graves with his first catch of the day as we come up on 2 minutes to go in the fourth. We'll be back in a moment.
Bench gets a professional finish with Krylon spray paint. No runs, no drips, no errors. Dries to the touch in minutes. The other brand's still tacky. Wow, what a game.
Good game, Mr. Euchre.
He's a lot tougher than he looks. For a fast, smooth, professional finish, get Krylon.
If your minivan needs brakes, come to Midas. You get trained technicians, guaranteed quality parts, a good price, and a lot of value. For brakes done right, bring your minivan to Midas. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Smokin' Joe Frazier, the undefeated champion. Muhammad Ali, the confident challenger.
I have a lot of speed. I have a lot of endurance. When I'm through with Frazier, he'll need more insurance.
Their epic first encounter. Ali Frazier won 20 years later. Next Sunday on NBC Sports World.
Well, coming up next on NBC Sports World, it'll be football speed merchants taking to the track the DHL NFL's fastest man, featuring Ron Brown of the Raiders, Darrell Green of the Redskins, Herschel Walker of the Vikings, San Diego's Anthony Miller. That'll be followed by the world-class action of Miller Lite Pro Beach Volleyball. Coming up next here on NBC. 2 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. The Buffalo Bills leading the Philadelphia Eagles 17-13. And it's a 1st and 10 at midfield for the Eagles, who are now being quarterbacked by Brad Gable, a free agent out of Baylor. Jim McMahon finished 3 for 9 for 36 yards.
I like the position that Brad Gable's in. I mean, he's in a no-lose situation, really.
And he's able to complete to Broderick Graves. Graves run down by Mark Maddox, but he went for 18.
Well, I'm just saying he's in a no-lose situation. I mean, they don't expect him to do real well, but if he does, it's a plus on his side. They had a safety blitz on that time with Dwight Green coming in, and Maddox catches him from behind Graves. This young man is really poised. Watch this.
And now completes to Bill Hess. So Brad Gable on fire. Went for another 14. Clock is running. Eagles looking for a timeout, and they get it with 1 minute Well, the clock's still running on the scoreboard. We'll have to check the official time. It shows 1:18. They may receive a couple of seconds added back on.
All right, back to the defense. First of all, the defense got to drop off a little bit. What Brad Gable did is he's just taking the safe pattern. He's taking the 6 and 7 yard pattern, and the runners like Roderick Graves at the play before made the run afterwards to pick up the extra yardage. It's a nice position to be in. It really is, because everything that he does is going to be a plus for him.
Brad Gable ranks second in Baylor history in total offense. Said to have a strong arm. Did not play much as a senior because he was hit by injuries. 6'3", 198 pounds. He is the fourth quarterback used by Rich Kotite. Randall Cunningham started, went the first quarter, followed by Don McPherson, Jim McMahon, and now Gable. And we mentioned earlier, Gable a major threat to the Eagle life of Don McPherson. First down at the Buffalo 18. And that is first incompletion intended for Maurice Johnson. It was covered by Brian Taylor. It'll be a second and 10 at the 18 with a minute 17 on the clock. The Bills 17 and the Eagles 13.
Just don't be too concerned now about looking so much to the inside. Take a shot and go back out to Sweely, number 17 on the outside. He's got one-on-one coverage.
And he completes again. Maurice Johnson on the reception. That is his fifth catch of the game.
Johnson gets out of bounds. But the one thing that you got to keep in mind here, field goal doesn't do any good. And they're going for the touchdown and the win anyway. They're not I mean, even if it was 3, I don't think they'd really go for the tie. They want to win this football game. And in this situation now, Gable has been throwing little junk patterns, 7 and 8 yard patterns. Now, one here wouldn't hurt him. Don't get too greedy. You have 2 downs in order to get the first down.
It's a 3rd down and 5. Gable with the time, and it's dropped. Graves could not hang on. It was covered by Drain.
This was a perfect pass by Gable. He hit Graves right in the hands. There was no reason to drop this ball.
It is a 4th and 5. Philadelphia with 2 timeouts left. Buffalo has 3. A minute 7 remaining in the 4th quarter. Here's Gable with perhaps the Eagles' last shot at it, and it was broken up. Brian Taylor got a piece of it. Taylor, number 21, a 3-year player out of Oregon State.
Brian Taylor, number 21, coming in. Watch this. Just at the last second, jumps up, knocks the ball down. Excellent play by the defense, but a nice job by Gable.
So the Bills take over after Gable rallied the Eagles on 5 for 8 for 52 yards. And Buffalo back to the offense with a minute and 2 remaining. And the Bills are actually in a position to win a preseason game.
Well, they've won 1 in 3 years and none last year. So, should be good.
Judd Garrett stopped by David Johnson as time is taken with 55 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. Well, the executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. NFL's coordinating producer and producer of today's telecast, John Ferrancis. Today's game has been directed by John Gonzalez. Update produced by Ricky Diamond. Directed by Kelly Atkinson. And thanks to the rest of our crew here in London. Our statistician, Mr. Stats, Elliot Cow, and our spotters, Mike Gilbert and Brian Lynch. It certainly has been a festive atmosphere here at Wembley. Wembley was built as the centerpiece of the British Empire exhibition back in 1924, and this is one of Europe's premier sports, entertainment, and business complexes, consisting of the stadium and the arena and the exhibition center. Bills trying to run the clock down. Judd Garrett again getting the call. Stopped by David Johnson. And the Eagles have stopped the clock with 49 seconds remaining.
And this should be the last play coming up because the Eagles have no more timeout. When we talked about Rich Kotite and the three things that he wanted to do: special teams, eliminate penalties, pretty much did that, and consistency in the fourth quarter. McMahon had some problems with the offensive line, but it is a backup deal also, so you can't really judge it.
Tough to get a read, I would think.
It really is. But again, they look at I'm sorry, but again, both coaches talking all week long, they're looking at individuals and how they reacted to certain situations. It wasn't so much a game plan. It's how a corner out there one-on-one can cover. What the defenses you have in there, how you perform those defenses, where you lined up, if you're smart enough to handle all these things. And this is what they're really looking at in the first 2 or 3 of them anyway.
And we're talking game 1 of 5 preseason games. This is so early, and you know that all the coaches will be looking at the films during the week and trying to analyze the, as you say, the individual efforts. Clock running, we're down to 35 seconds. Bills with a 17-13 lead on the Eagles. The Eagles next Saturday go against the Jets at Giant Stadium in game 2 of their preseason slate. While a week from tomorrow night, Buffalo and the Giants at Giant Stadium. And this one is in the books. Time running down as both clubs pour onto the field. And the Buffalo Bills have defeated the Philadelphia Eagles by the score of 17-13. So the Buffalo Bills with a rare victory in preseason.
But again, and not to minimize it, Marv Levy's always said, I would like to win it. The players would like to win the ball game, but really it's not important. They will evaluate every single play of every one of the players that were in the ball game, and that's the important thing. Rich Kotite will do the same thing. They've seen an awful lot of positive things, and these are the things that you want to build on. Don't worry so much about the negative. It's the first game.
And next Saturday we'll be in Berlin. Paul, I'm not sure about you. As I mentioned earlier,
I'm going to get out of here.
Yes, if you make it through the passport people, as we bring you the 49ers and the Bears on next Saturday afternoon here on NBC. Stay tuned for the NFL's fastest man. Can Ron Brown of the Raiders defend his title against such speed merchants as Darrell Green of the Redskins and Herschel Walker of the Vikings? Plus, nonstop world-class action of Pro Beach volleyball. That is coming up next on NBC.